Learn to crochet the moss stitch square and create colorful trivets, hotpads, and dish rags. They are fun and easy to do and make great gifts. A perfect project for beginners. Each trivet requires only 2.5 ounces of cotton yarn. Since the colors make this project a delight, choose at least 4 colors to mix and match. I simply raided my yarn stash and used up bits and pieces. You will learn the tips and tricks to crochet the moss stitch square pattern, change colors at the end of a round, continue colors from row to row, and join the pieces with the edging. Download the companion pattern for free by following the instructions in the description below. You want to start by making a slip knot, putting on your G hook and chaining 2. 1, 2. Now you're going to insert into the first chain, which is the second chain from the hook. If you can see, go right in there. Now I'm going to give you a little trick. I'm going to wrap this counterclockwise around my hook, and so I'm actually going into the chain and under that strand of yarn that's wrapped. Pull up a loop and complete a single crochet. Chain 2 and work another single crochet into the very same stitch. Chain 1. Now, going back into that same stitch, we're going to do another single crochet, chain 2, another single crochet, chain 1. That has now formed 2 corners. We have 2 more corners to go. And notice how I'm still going under that strand that is wrapped. So, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 1. Now that has completed our 4 corners. Now I'm going to move that strand to the back, and at the beginning of the round I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the very first single crochet. There's a slip stitch. Okay, so we've just completed our first round. Now with that, I'm using up all kinds of scrap yarns, so I'm just going to pull that end and weave this in because I want to make sure that these ends are buried below the next round. So a quick stitch back and going around this. That one's woven in, the long one. I like to trim them off as soon as I weave them in, then I know they're done. This is the front side, and I know that because I can see on the edges there are 2 loops on the top of the edge. The wrong side only has 1 loop visible when you're looking at it. So I want the wrong side to face me, because if I had finished that round and continued with the next color, I would have turned it. And so I need the back side facing me. Now I'm going to insert my hook into one of the side chain 1 spaces. The chain 1 space makes the side spaces, and the chain 2 space makes the corner space, and that'll be consistent throughout. Now I'm going to take the next color that I have available, and I happen to have some bright green. So to join my yarn, I'm just going to pull up the loop, and this is kind of tricky. I'm going to take the yarn tail end and complete a chain 1. That allows me to tighten this stitch after I work a stitch. Now I'm going to pick up the feeder yarn, and I'm going to complete a single crochet. Once the single crochet is completed, I can pull that first tail end and tighten that up, and it makes it smaller and it looks just like a single crochet. Now, without an extra bulkiness. Now, I'm going to find my next corner space, and I chained one here. So I did a single crochet and a chain one. I'm going to work a single crochet, chain two in the corner to form the corner, and a single crochet, chain one. Then in the chain one space, I'm going to find that space. Sometimes it's pretty tight. There we go. I'm going to work one single crochet, chain one. Now I'm in the next corner space, and you've got to feel for that corner. Single crochet, chain two, and a single crochet, chain one. Then I find the side space, the chain one side space. There it is right there. And I'm going to work a single crochet, chain one. In the corner space, I'm going to work a single crochet, chain two, and a single crochet, chain one. In the side space, and you're going to go all the way around like this. So now we're back to the beginning, and in the top of the single crochet, and it's tight because we're working with a G hook, we're going to work a slip stitch to join the round. And see how nice that makes that corner. Before we go on, we're going to thread up our beginning yarn tail, because I'm going to do another row of this green. So we have 2 rows of green, because I have a little bit more yarn, see? A little leftover yarn. So on this one, I'm going to thread up through here, bring it up to the top edge, and let me just take this off. Let's pull a loop there. And I am going to just thread it under, since I've already got it worked out. And that's a real quick way to weave it in. Pull that up. Make sure you stretch out your crochet, because remember, this is cotton. Okay? Trim it. And so we're ready to start the next round. Now, this is the right side of the last row that's facing me. So I'm going to turn it from the left edge, take the left edge and move it to the right edge. That places the yarn tail, or the feeder yarn, right over the space we want to go into. And we're just going to make that chain just a little bit longer, but not much, because we're just going right in there and working a single crochet. Perfect. Chain one, single crochet, we're in a corner, chain two, single crochet, chain one. Then in this next side space, we're going to work a single crochet, chain one. But each time we add a round, we add extra spaces to the side. So now we have another single crochet, chain one, and continue all the way around. At the end of the round, slip stitch to join. From now on, every round is worked the same. Make sure to turn after each round whether you are adding a new color or continuing with the same color. I'll meet you when the last row of the square is completed. We've made it around on our last row, and we know that we've been on our last row because we have 16 from the corner to the corner. If you are making a dish rag, you're done. If you're making a trivet, you will make a second square and join them together as you crochet the edging. So, we have just aligned the wrong side of the last row with the wrong side of the last row. That is important. Now, we're going to count how many stitches we are from the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to go into this space. But we also want to make sure that we go into the space, the appropriate space on the back one. So we're going to count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's this space here. So I'm going to hold those two spaces together. And I'm not going to chain or anything, but I am just going to lengthen my loop just a little. And I'm going to insert my hook there and insert it through the back space also. And work 1 single crochet, chain 1. Then I'm going to go to the next space and the next space on the back side and insert my hook through both levels, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and make another single crochet, chain 1. Now we're not going to do anything fancy on this, but because I want my set to match. But you could actually put a picot in there, or you could do other interesting things, but I kind of like that clean look. So I'm just continuing by inserting my hook into the space, just like I'd been doing before, and then working a single crochet, chain 1. There we go. So we've now done our single crochet in the corner. We're going to chain 2, because that's how you do a corner and turn a corner, and we're going to go back into the same space through both thicknesses and do another single crochet and a chain 1. Now we're going to begin going down this side, and you can see by doing it this way we have it perfectly matched up, and it holds the two thicknesses together so that you have a nice trivet like this one. And we have one more to go, which is right here, and we want to make sure we get that last space on both thicknesses, chain 1, and we're just going to slip stitch into that very first stitch. Turn your work over and weave in the end, not along the outer edge, but one row below. You will make the hot pad the same as the trivet, but as you work the edging at one of the corners, you will crochet a loop so you will be able to hang it up. Here's how. First, I put the first single crochet of the corner stitch in place, but I don't chain 1, I chain 10 or 12. I'm going to chain 12. Because I chained 12, now I return to this first single crochet, and I'm going to insert my hook under the front loop and then also the side loop of the single crochet, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. That really puts a nice secure bind there, but this is kind of flimsy. So what I do is I turn the loop, and I can turn the potholder too at the same time, and I'm going to work 24 very tight single crochets into that loop. Now, notice I had turned my work, so now I'm going to turn it back. I'm going to turn my loop to the front, and there I have my loop. And I'm ready to start down this side. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very tight single crochet into the corner. And that's the second single crochet that goes into that corner. And that also ties this loop down very, very firmly. And so I can just keep going along the side. So I'll chain 1 and work a single crochet in through both thicknesses. Whether you're thinking about making the moss stitch trivet, the dish rag, or the hot pad, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos. Happy crocheting!